Hey guys, it's Matt. To a Christian, this is a very meaningful phrase, to carry your cross. Per verses in both Luke and Matthew talks about carrying your cross, a Christian's duty to use Jesus Christ as an example, to walk in the world as he did, and it will be very difficult along the way. Of course, there will be trials and burdens and struggles. But if you are a Christian truther, I am not, but we have a lot that are here. I still, even though I'm not a Christian, I still have used this term many times, to carry our cross, and it's very appropriate for what we go through. Just scanning the headlines again, I'll show you some of the absurd, ridiculous headlines. We're not going to do just a headline show. It's going to be more about this, a more reciteer presentation. But we also, I'm not, you're stealing it. You're stealing it from the Christian. But if I'm stealing it, I'm stealing it. I don't think Jesus would be upset. I'm going to steal. We carry a cross in terms of navigating this world more than anybody, to be able to see through the world for what it is. One of the first things I was thinking about this morning regarding to carry one's cross is almost our duty to maintain relations, to maintain friendships and cordial relations with family, and to hold back from saying, "Can't you idiots see right through this?" To hold back. And they're just not ready. Maybe not in this lifetime. Maybe they have 100 or 1,000 more, whatever your beliefs are. To hold back is so difficult. There is no better term for us than to carry our cross. And whether you're a Christian here or other religions, or, I'm a spiritual person, I would never assign myself to a large religion. We all share many things here. And one is this term. I don't think Jesus would be terribly upset for me using it. I think in general, this is what it means, what the verse in Matthew and Luke, the Matthew's referenced here, but I think Luke is the more popular verse, or more famous verse regarding carrying one's cross. I don't think anybody would be upset if I'm interpreting it this way, because it's a tremendous burden that we carry. But that is that's one of the tests that we have to go through. That is part of part two, the work. This cross, this information we bear about the nature of this reality, is getting through that and getting out the other side intact and in one piece is part two, the work. It may be the biggest part of part two, the work. So for every single news cycle, every major thing that happens in the world in a reality that's completely broken down, we have to carry the cross. Coworkers, friends, family, for many of you, even spouses, long-term girlfriends, husbands, and wives, believe in every bit of it. You know how difficult? Talk about the definition of carrying one's cross. You've got 3 kids at home. You're trying to hold back because your husband or your wife is tired of you hearing you talk about conspiracy topics, and they're not ready. Talk about carrying the cross. So there's a major news cycle. Israel, Iran, U.S., whatever. And then we look down and it just etherically forms again on the ground, the cross that we, in a gigantic metaphor, need to carry. Cross made out of old, soaked sail masts that had been soaking up water floating around the ocean. We have to put that cross back on. And, I'm still, okay, I don't think, again, like I said, I don't think Jesus would be too upset. I think this is a perfect phrase to remember, whether you're a Christian or not, for what we go through, but what we need to do. This is part of our test. This is part of what we must do. Oh man, I got the state championship wrestling team reunion from 1989. We were state champions. I'm going to see the old guys again. What they're going to talk about. And I'm sure I know this group. They're all going to be conservatives. Bomb, 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 bomb. They're going to say, do more. Actually, there are surveys that say most Americans are really fed up with this bullshit. And they don't want any more bomb, 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 bomb. They don't want any more of it. People, even the dumbest of the dumb, are just getting fed up with the Middle East. Not Nilk. Are you listening to me? What did Escobedo say when his cocaine factory got blown up? Do you hear me? Not Nilk. Are you listening to me? Are you people? Not Nilk. People are just, even the dumbest of the dumb are pretty tired of it. I mean, really, you want to keep pushing it. Even the dumbest of the dumb on the ship of fools, waiting for Isaac to offer up another Shirley Temple with a little touch of vodka, even those people may get tired of it and just start to push back. Keep it up, Not Milk. You got the dinner with the in-laws coming up the night before little Joey's first communion. Oh, is this special, little Joey's first communion? Oh, it's such a special time. And you're sitting there rolling your eyes like, oh my God, I've got to go through this. And then the dinner with the in-laws. It'll be like going out with the Riz checks or the rice checks, the Riz checks. I deal in personal loans and dabble in casino. It's going to be like dinner with the. Go ahead, do it, shoot it, dude. You do shots. They're going to want to talk about this. The in-laws, they're going to talk about, what do you think about what's happening in the Middle East, Matt? And you've got to pretend, you got to carry your cross. You've got to hold back what you know about the world. That's part two, the work. You want to face your higher self and say, every single time you tried to wake people up, didn't you ever learn? The higher self sounds like Joan Rivers or something. Didn't you ever learn your lesson? Well, we did this for years, but time to learn our lesson and shut our mouths and quietly carry our cross. What we're covering, oh God, make it stop. Trump weighs in. President Donald Trump flashed intense anger. Hey, CNN, how many investigative journalists do you have? None? They're all bots? They've been all bots since 95? Oh my gosh. It flashed intense, what's that from Jules from Poland? And furious anger Tuesday morning as the ceasefire he brokered between Israel and Iran appeared to grow more fragile. So he brokered a ceasefire. Let me get this straight. Saturday night, Trump bombed Iran. Then immediately he brokered a ceasefire. So he said, yeah, I did it, but no more. That's it. I did it. It's like going up in New York City, punching Mike Tyson across the face and saying, I end hostilities. I announce I end hostilities. Mike Tyson, but you just punched me. You just punched me in the face. Wait. He's going to retaliate or whatever. He's going to do something back. Now, it's a one-world system. I'm just pretending countries make their own decisions, guys. The skit only works if countries make their own decisions. You can't just punch Mike Tyson across the face and say, "Oh, we end hostilities now." He brokered a ceasefire right after he bombed them. We should have thought of that tactic in World War II. No, the corporation of the United States should have thought about doing those sorts of things in World War II. If that's all you need to do, it doesn't make any sense. I guess the average person reads this and they just believe it. The president said he was unhappy in particular with Israel, who he said quickly violated the truce. Oh, the little spat between Musk and Trump is now people are getting tired of that, and it's going to spill over between Bibi and Trump. They're going to have little spats. This doesn't make any sense. So again, I'm assuming, which is ridiculous, that countries make their own decisions, but that's the way the Not Milk has to present it to the world, that each country is independent. It still doesn't make any sense because, again, Israel would be like, well, you just bombed them, but then like 5 hours later, you're trying to say there's a truce. Like, well, what? It doesn't even make sense. I don't even know how to talk about this. It's so absurd. What's in the next bullet point? We'll do this together. Ceasefire violations alleged. Trump announced a ceasefire late Monday, but hours later, Israel accused Iran of violating the terms and vowed to launch fresh strikes on Tehran. Iran denied the allegation. What? I mean, I don't follow this closely, but so it was Saturday night, basically Sunday morning from our perspective. It was bomb. They took out the centrifuge circle spinners or whatever they did. They probably bombed a frying pan factory. But then they brokered a ceasefire. So what? Somebody got on the phone. Get the mullahs on the phone, or what's his name? Is the Ayatollah? What's that from Heartbreak Ridge? The Ayatollah of rock and roll. They got him on the phone, and they said, "We want a ceasefire." Wait a second! You just bombed us. Let's do the Ayatollah will be in the Monty Python voice. You just bombed us. Our centrifuge factories in uranium enrichment are still in smoldering ruins, and now you want a ceasefire? Fuck you! But then Iran supposedly went along with the ceasefire. And then Israel got upset at Iran. Not Milk. I mean, honestly, you can do better. I mean, I don't know what sort of demented bot puts your stories together or your fake news together. I mean, any fool could write this out better. But then again, remember, the entire reality is a wake-up mechanism. it just gets more and more ridiculous, like the truck and tractor pull, in order to wake the few people that are left up. I guess we should be careful what we wish for. Maybe there's just 5 more people in the world that can possibly still be awakened. And the reality is designed like the Terminator to keep going, to keep breaking down, to keep becoming more ridiculous until it gets all the potential people that possibly can wake up. And there's maybe only 5 left. What happens if all 5 wake up? That leaves a few billion who they're NPCs or they're people that are real spiritual beings, but they need thousands of more tries to wake up. Well, the video game ends. The quarter runs out. Maybe everything freezes up or locks up like a Donkey Kong game on your original ColecoVision that your grandma spilled tea all over, and the Donkey Kong game just freezes up. That doesn't mean anything will happen to us. We'll just fade into another reality or fade back into different parts of our spiritual selves, or we'll rise above this tiny place of which we're millions of times larger than. I don't care what happens to it. I hope it wakes up. If there's 5 people left, I hope it wakes them up as soon as possible. You know, I've said this many times, but people come and go, and the subscriber number somehow just stays pinned at 93.3. That's WMMR, the rock and roll station in Philadelphia. It never goes anywhere, and it's been about 5 or 6 or 7 years now. It's been pinned right on that number. I think I'm down 25. Sometimes I'm up 15. Anyway. Guys, you know I've said this many times about these megalithic structures or the ancient sites. Who built them, Matt? You must have a theory on who built them. Nobody built them. Is it possible that's wrong? Of course, but as the reality, I see how it plays its tricks. It lures us in. It lures the professor at Oxford and Cambridge and some asshole at Yale. It lures them in to research and when it keeps playing its same tricks over and over and say, well, maybe nobody built it. Well, Matt, that's even for a channel like this, you're getting really ridiculous. Am I really? So let me get this straight. So you've been studying truth for 10 years, as I have. And is this real? No, that's fake. Is this over here? Is this real? Let's look at what the astronauts do in the cosmonauts and whatever. All these different. I have the room with the Post-it notes, the thousands and thousands of Post-it notes. The way in the movie The Omen that he was trying to keep a demon out, he put thousands of pages of the Bible up all around the windows. I have the Post-it notes, so we throw darts. Is that real? No. What about the financial system? No, that's fake. That's fake. That's fake. So you would say almost everything in this reality is a ruse of some. Well, yes, of course, Matt. But because this is heavy, it's not. See, what's she doing? She's. By the way, if you've ever played perspective games with your photography and done things like this, if you've ever played perspective games, it's a retard test. You're retarded. Matt, have you done it? Well, actually, my dad told me to put the Washington Monument on my head. I have that, but I didn't choose to do it. I was very young. If you've ever done what she's doing, you're retarded. If that pleases you, so get back to what you were saying, Matt. So all these things are fake, right? Person that studied truth for 10 years, but this is heavy, and it's real blocks, Matt. And because it's heavy, it has to be real. Oh, really? Isn't that kind of? Don't you see how that's a little bit of kind of small thinking? No, if it's kind of back to the first rule of truth. If all of this stuff is fake, everywhere we look, every dart we throw into a Post-it note, then why would I think the Great Pyramid or anything else that impossible construction, impossible architecture? Why would I think it's real? The man or the woman that thinks big enough would say it's all bullshit. Whole reality is a ruse. Of course it is. I could give a lecture at a podium sometime that the entire reality is likely fake, and I think it would be pretty convincing. Put me up against somebody like this, somebody that believes in every bit of it, Michio the cock. Put me up against him. I'm at this podium with my Texas catheter. He's at his. Hi, Michio the cock. Hey, Michio, shouldn't you be like starring in a Broadway rendition of The Karate Kid or something? What are you doing here? Oh, he's smarter than you, Matt. Well, actually, he's getting a little old. He's losing it a bit. In his heyday, IQ and how smart. He says, I understand the physics. You don't, Matt. I said, I don't. I understand the math. I can do the calculus. You can't. I said, no, I can't. Well, what do you have on your side, Mr. Texas Catheter? Truth and common sense? I know. What did Superman say? Truth, justice, and the American way. The truther, Superman, just has truth, common sense, and simple logical reasoning. All you have is the download, sir. Shouldn't you be starring on Broadway for Karate Kid 5 or something? What are you doing here? I know that Mr. Miyagi Part 5 or something. Okay. Look, Michio, see, Matt, well, what's the proof that it's fake? Well, these people here told us when I was in elementary school. I clearly remember that they said the age of the universe was around 3 to 4 billion years old. That was their best estimate. And then, I don't know, sometime when I was in high school or so, or 20 some years ago, I remember pretty clearly, it was 7 to 8 billion. I don't know if it's a Mandela effect. I remember this. Went to some, oh, that's a lot older than people like Michio the Cock originally estimated. And now it's what? I mean, I should look it up, but if I remember from a year or two ago, 13 billion, 14, they always have to put it on their occult number. Yeah, 13 to 14 billion. So let me get this straight, people like Michio and your friend Neil of the Grass Fed. You're really smart and you can do the calculus and you have these big degrees, but just in a matter of 20 to 25 years, you weren't off by like 10,000 years on the age of the universe. You weren't off by 7 months. That's how long they did the month anniversaries and shit. You were off by about 10 billion years from the original. You were off by 10 billion. If that doesn't destroy credibility, I don't know what does, Michio the Cock. Okay, I had to look it up. Now it's up to 13.8 billion years old. They need, for some reason, to keep pushing that it's older and older. And then other researchers saying, this is the first I've heard of this, 26.7 billion years old. They need to keep pushing it older and older for whatever reason. It's like the reason they made to put bat wings into their grimoire or something. Who knows why, but it will never get younger. It will always get older. That's like for them, like putting bat wings and some maybe like a toad's tongue into their grimoire. They need to do this for some reason. The universe is estimated to be 13.8 billion. What about the 3 or 4 billion when I was a kid? You off by 10 billion, you stupid son of a beach. This age is derived from various measurements. What measurements? Including the expansion rate of the universe and the cosmic microwave background radiation. I can run my microwave and determine the age of the universe? While 13.8 billion years is the most widely accepted estimate, sure it is. Not by truth researchers, I'm sorry. This is more akin to a Donkey Kong video game. It might only be a few hundred years old, according to some of us. Some research suggests a slightly older age, potentially around 26.7 billion years old. Every time I think of Michio, all of the big four frauds rush into my brain, and I immediately think of Neil of the Grass Fed, and for the UK and Europe, it's Brian the Cock, and then what is that? Bill Nye, Bill Nye the Science Guy. We need to have a fraud competition, like in terms of the scientific sellouts, the scientific clowns and charlatans, all in different categories. Like, who's the most obnoxious? Would Neil win every category? And that's saying something. Think who he's up against. Some of the most obnoxious people in the history of the world. Bill Nye, the Science Guy, and Michio Kaku. And, I mean, okay, most arrogant, without a doubt. Most arrogant. Most in love with himself. For what? For why? I mean, most arrogant, most obnoxious, the ability to have one throw up their lunch. Neil wins every single category, and I'd like debate all these fools. I Texas catheter or not, I'd like to debate all these fools at the same time. I'm not smarter. I'm sure they actually passed a few classes in getting their fake degrees. I can't do the math. You present those big calculus equations that they always show when somebody's doing a time travel movie. I don't understand that shit. Here's what we have on our side. We don't need to be very smart. Basic common sense, truth, and logic. Just let me show me how the eclipse works, and then how the umbra gets real small. It just focuses down on like a little. Oh, it's so the umbra's only 70 miles across. Then I could show you with a quarter on a desk under a regular light, an incandescent bulb, if they're still legal, how the shadow has to be the same size or larger than the object. The shadow cannot possibly be smaller than the object and more focused. I don't have to be smarter. I just need a friggin' quarter and a flat surface and a damn lamp. I could do this for every single one of your bullshit. I don't have to be smarter than your arrogant ass. I mean, we could just do this all day long. Show me your abloid. If I said to Neil, we're at the podium together, I said, show me your abloid spheroid or whatever. He said, it's not a perfect circle, it's a sphere. It's an abloid spheroid or whatever. I don't even know. I can't pronounce it. But then if I said to him, show me your abloid spheroid, he'd take his shirt off. I said, put your shirt back on. These people just ate lunch. He'd take his shirt off and his gigantic gut, whatever. He's like Oprah. He varies 100 pounds. He goes 100 up, he goes 100 down. He goes, he's just like Oprah. The Oprah diet, Neil, is not very healthy. Just pick a weight and kind of stick with it. It's okay if you're 20 to 30 or 40 over. Just stay consistent. The body doesn't like huge swings in weight. Ask Oprah. Okay, this is do you want this as the channel? No real truth, just picking on people? Maybe. I mean, what else are we going to do? This is basically where it's going, folks. I was going to say I'll see you soon or see you tomorrow. That doesn't make sense. What I say is thanks for listening.